again, you know, we're doing the cooking deal. We don't have a name for this. We've done like 50 of these. Do you have a suggestion?
Healthy walleye. How about that?
Okay. Fred Zink, in case you haven't noticed, he's been on the podcast. He's been on some of the videos. Kind of, you're a hunter, but you're a cooker and a fisherman.
And a fisherman, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Outdoorsman.
What are we doing?
Well, we're going to get Ross caught some walleye here. And we're going to do the healthy version. We like to do it this way simply because it's much better for you. If you're frying, a lot of people eat deep fried fish. But the issue is with deep fried fish is my wife Dawn had cancer and I had cancer. So I did a lot of research on what causes cancer.
Seed oils.
Carcinogen. Seed oil is horrible for you. It's been said by scientists that one French fry is like smoking a cigarette. One French fry. And seed oil has a shelf life of over 2 years in your body. So there's about 70 trillion cells in your body. And once you have seed oil in your body, it takes about 2 years. They say about 630 days for that seed oil, one serving of seed oil to get out of your body. So during that period of time, I started doing a lot of research. And obviously living on Lake Erie, we eat a lot of walleye, a lot of fish. But I wanted to get away from deep fried fish. So here's the recipe. We'll walk you through what we like to do. We're going to have buttered rice. We're going to have asparagus, and then we're going to have grilled Parmesan crusted grilled walleye.
It's funny you say that because we started this originally just to give people other options aside from just constantly frying them. And then it's kind of like you started eating healthier. And it's amazing that there's a lot of ways of doing this.
And in my opinion, it's way better. It's better for you, but I really believe it's better tasting as well. So let's get cracking.
Yeah.
So what we have here, we're just doing, this is jasmine rice. You can do white rice, you can do wild rice. Jasmine is our favorite. This one's going to be butter rice because we think it goes better with fish. So we have 2 cups of rice, and then we're going to add a little butter. Now the butter that we use and the butter that we're going to be talking about, this is real butter. This isn't margarine or fake butter with a bunch of seed oils in there. This is actually real butter. So we just melted some here. Another way you can do is bone broth. We use that instead of using water. If you don't like a lot of butter, I think butter's healthy for you, especially real butter. But we use this here as well. It's very, very good. If we're having, say we're having steak, we'll probably go this way versus butter, but butter goes better. It's a little bit more neutral for the walleye, so that's the way we're going to go. So we have two cups of rice in there, and we just got some melted butter. I like to put that in there before, and then I like this.
How much butter do you think there?
I just play it by ear. I'd say it's about, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon. And I just like to do that. And then something we like to add. This is over here by our coffee pot. This is Redmond's real salt. Okay, so the oldest salt mine in the entire United States is in Redmond, Utah. And so like trophy rock for whitetail and a lot of minerals, all comes from Redmond. Okay, so this is table grade. A lot of athletes, especially if you work out or like you on the water all the time sweating, and you're drinking a lot of water, that water will actually deplete your body of nutrients.
Right.
You know, and so you need to add salt to your water. So we add it to our coffee, we add it to our water, but I like to add a little of this because there's more than salt in here. It's a lot of minerals.
You know where else there's a big salt mine?
Where's that?
Right below Lake Erie.
Is there?
You didn't know that?
I did know that. Really?
One of their bigger salt mines. Not our type of salt, but like for driveways and stuff. You didn't know
really?
that? Really?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, right below Lake Erie.
So let's get this started while we're doing. This takes about 20 minutes. So let's go over here and we'll start preparing our fish. So Ross did a really good job of filleting fish. One thing that we like to do is, like Ross says, we like to take that belly meat out. Now, if you're only eating walleye 3 or 4 times a year, probably not that big of a deal.
We get a little spoiled with many walleyes.
But we eat it all the time. Most of the mercury, most of the bad stuff is going to be from here down. So trimming that up like Ross did is really good. You can zipper them if you want to because there's a little bit of bone in here. But of course, Ross caught a bunch of small walleye, which we expected that. So probably don't need to do that.
You guys put the link in where you watch Fred catch a lot of small walleyes, and he's like, I caught so many more walleyes than you. And it was kind of embarrassing. The DNR actually called me afterwards, and they wanted to see if we had a measuring.
Yeah. Well, I cast and you're trolling next to me, so I don't know. It's not really apples to apples there, Ross.
I mean, we do it all over here. We digging, we scoping.
You're scoping now. Before you were hoping, now you're scoping.
We do it all.
All right. So I like to get a big cutting board out. And we're just gonna set that. You hold them real quick for me, Ross. And we'll use, this is real olive oil. It's really hard to get good olive oil, but this is the real stuff.
So show us what.
This is my wife, Mediterranean. If it comes from overseas or Mediterranean, this is real olive oil. If you go to the store, you'd be surprised.
It's not even olive oil.
No, it's got a lot of seed oils in it.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to avoid seed oils, it's going to take it right away from you. And so I like to just coat the foil with that, get a nice layer down. And this is just going to keep the fish from sticking. So when you go to plate it, if you do not do this, you go to plate it, sometimes it'll stick, and then your fillets will be in pieces. So this will give us a nice, and we'll put these on here. A good rule of thumb is a guy your size and mine can eat a whole walleye, 2 fillets, and the ladies typically like 1 fillet. But we're gonna cook all these up right here. You see, I'm just kind of intertwining them, so there's no surface here, open area.
So what's the significance of that?
Simply, they just cook more even. And if not, you'll get burn marks between the fish, in my opinion. Like there'll be areas where it kind of burns, especially when you add the Parmesan.
Okay.
Okay, we got one more here. Okay. So once we get this plate, of course, we got them cleaned up, really nice, patted dry. That's really important. You don't want water on your fish. And then we'll use that pure butter again that we used in our rice. And we just baste these walleye. One thing you can do is you can add lemon juice to this if you're doing a citrus blend. We're not doing citrus on these right here, but if you wanted to do a citrus seasoning, you can add lemon juice or lime juice to this, and it really will accent that type of flavor.
So I didn't completely zipper these because I didn't know what we were doing. This was a surprise. Do you like to leave those whole, or would you have normally cut those in half? Or?
This one, and zip one, I would have probably, the bigger ones, I'd have probably zippered, probably. But you know, one thing about, I think the zippering, of course you got the bones, but you get a little flavor in there. But as cold as the water is right now, I don't think you need to do that. Now, if this was August, July, August, I'd zipper every one of them just to get that center red meat out. I think it really makes a difference as far as the fishiness, but these being fresh, not frozen.
They're pretty clean.
And they're clean. You did a good job cleaning them. And they're coming from cold water.
The Facebook police the other day didn't think so. They did not.
All right, so let's talk about seasoning. So, you know, of course, the standard's Old Bay with about any seafood. We like, if you like Cajun, slap your mama. Now with these two, I'm going to use a garlic powder with these because I think it accents them together, okay? So let's do a couple of them. We'll start at the left.
Don't you be making too many of those spicy now.
No.
Gingers do not like spice.
Yeah, I could tell. I got some brats for you later if you need some. So a little bit of that. And then I like, Old Bay is good, but I like Slap Your Mama. It's a little bit more Cajun. And you just salt to taste. I learned this trick actually on ducks. I started using ranch dressing on ducks, and it really enhanced the flavor.
Now, I'm going to go on a limb, though, and say that's not good for us.
Well, it doesn't have seed oil in it, though. Way better, right? So when we make, like Dawn makes ranch dressing at the restaurant, and without the seed oils, using this here, it's not a lot, but just enough to flavor it, okay? Just add just a little bit like that.
If you put ranch on my finger, I'd eat it.
Oh, I know. But this here doesn't have the seed oil. That's what we're trying to avoid. Now, I'm going to use this as the first base on the rest of it. You can add as much as you want. Me, I just like a little bit. It adds a little bit of creaminess to the flavor.
You don't want to overtake the fish, though, right?
No, 100%. But a walleye, one thing about walleye,
it's like a mahi.
It's so mild that if you don't put a flavor to it, it doesn't have a lot of taste. So now here depends on your taste. So this is Kinder's. It's become very, very popular. This is actually, let me grab my favorite blends. For walleye, these are my 2 favorite blends. This is actually steak seasoning. but this is good on chicken. This one's probably my favorite for walleye.
What
right
do we
here.
got?
Buttery garlic herb.
I mean,
it's very, very good. And buttery steakhouse. These are my favorite. We'll use a few of each.
And so we're going to use that even on top of the ranch, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Now this is going to be, this will give you the creaminess. Like you said, ranch is good on anything. And you don't want to go crazy, but you definitely want to coat it. All right, so we're going to set this in the order in which we use them. So when we go to bring it off the grill, we'll have a good opportunity to taste it.
That's thinking with your dipstick there.
Yeah, there we go. Good. I like that. This is how I like to think. So this is a buttery steakhouse. This is really good on turkey, wild turkey, chicken. Actually, yeah, buttery.
So is that like a no MSG, another kind of along those lines of trying to keep it healthier?
The steak blend's good. Let's use that one. How many we got left? This is, so this has got, you can see there's red pepper. There's a little cayenne in there. So this is going to be more spicy. And let's go ahead and we'll do one with the blend. This is also a good flavor here. This is a good way to test out and to see which ones you like.
So when you're doing this at a bigger family event or something like that, do you still kind of put 3 or 4 of them on there? Or
no, the Zink family household likes that one right there.
The butter. Butter, garlic, and herbs.
Herb, yep, it's really good. Now, putting Parmesan on. So we like to crust it. And so I don't recommend using Capt.
For the same thing we just talked about.
Yeah, it's actually got a pretty large portion of sawdust. It actually has wood. Capt Parmesan cheese is really not Parmesan cheese. So I just go to the store. We'll get real Parm. Now Dawn also gets real Parm flakes. It's really good here. And all we're just doing is getting a good crust on it.
Because that's also going to like totally the temperature and everything with real Parmesan versus regular cheese, right?
Exactly.
We've done a few things on.
And then you can get this finely grated. At Bassett's, they have that. Where I went today at Kroger's, they didn't have the fine grated, so I got this here. We'll just hand grate the Parm.
So people that aren't in Ohio like us here in a small town, basically, if you get away from a big chain and go to a smaller one, you're probably going to find some of these little more particular things.
This here, Kinder's, is everywhere. It's at Sam's. It's really popped up everywhere. This has become very popular in the last little bit. I'd say in the last, 2 years? So that's that. So that's bigger chunks, okay? And that's going to give you some, and this is real Parm. So this is going to give you a lot of flavor. I'm going to grab some, this here is good quality Parm. This is a finer ground, and this is going to give her our crust.
Almost like a healthy panko.
Yep. So this is when we grill it, and I'll show you how you run the temperature on the grill is going to dictate whether you have crusted or just cooked fish. This here being crusted gives it a lot better taste. So that's pretty much it. We'll put the asparagus on, fire the grill up, and we'll get this on.
So what are we putting in there?
A little garlic, minced garlic, real butter, of course olive oil, and then I like Parm in there as well.
I mean, you're kind of a cheesy guy. You like the cheese.
Cheesy. I learned it from you.
That's not where I was going with that.
Now on this one here, I like a little different flavor. I like the steak blend. This has got more, it's got cayenne in it, a little red pepper.
The thing with this is it is so much trial and error for 2 shakes versus 1 shake. But the thing is you may like something different than what I like.
Yep,
right? And
exactly.
So
and that's the deal with the fish is you try the different seasoning. Once you find it, and you stick right to it,
Or if you want more or less, some people.
Yeah, so there's another way you can do with more of a citrus blend, right? So where you add a little, when you put your butter in, you put lemon or lime on there, and there's a bunch of citrus blends that we use in there. Actually, I use it in there, and then you can take lemons, real thin sliced lemons, and lay on top of them when you cook them. It just gives you, in the summertime when it's hot, a lot of times on the boat or whatever, we'll eat more of a citrus blend. And then we can do tacos with this. I do a mango salsa, And then we do fish tacos with walleye or perch or what have you. It's really, really good as well.
Sounds like we got version 2 coming up.
We got a bunch of versions coming. Let's move this over and we'll get the grill fired up. We'll lay that on there. One thing we talked about earlier is if you prep these fish and you got some people coming ain't there yet, you want to try to get, when you brought the fillets over, they were cold. And so I like to cook, because we got Parmesan on here, I like the fish to be cold because it gives heat the way we're cooking. Indirect heat where the fish is, and then we have a lot of heat here come over the top and crust. So if the fish are warm, they cook too quick. So you want the fish to cook slow, and if they're cold, that helps, so you can get more of a crust, because if not, it's hard to get a crust.
So if it's hot out or anything, just don't be afraid to put it on a cookie sheet like on this and put it in the fridge?
Put it in the refrigerator. Pull it right out of the fridge and put it in here, and you'll get a better crust. If you can't do that, it's good to use a food torch and just try to get a little bit of crust on your walleye.
And approximately the heat and time we're thinking it's going to go?
Because we're crusting, it's probably going to be about 15 minutes. If we were just cooking the fish, it's about 7 to 8 minutes at about 400 until you get a good flake, which means your fish are done. But since we're trying to crust these, we got the heat over here. So I say our grill's going to be about 275 because we only have this burner. These 3 burners here are as low as I can get them. And this is my crust burner. I got this turned up as hot as I can get it. So let's shut the grill and let's see what it does. But I would think it will come up to about 275. All right. Oh yeah.
Sometimes.
So this has more of a crust on it. So you can see crust. Now, depends on how much parm or whatever, but how you can tell fish are done, of course, Ross, you know, but with the grill, it opens up, you know. And when we got that butter basting in it or whatever, it soaks right in the Parmesan, the seasoning goes right into the fish.
If you see flesh color, no good.
No good. And when fish is not cooked, it's sealed up, you'll see no texture. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. That's ready to go. Now, we were just about 375, okay? 15 minutes, but I had these 3 burners here on as low as possible, and I had this one creating the heat to get the crust. So this one was on high, the other 3 were on as low as possible. And it's still got, this grill gets real hot, quick. Hold on, let me catch up, there we go. Just fold that up. Okay. We're gonna line these seasonings up. And we'll do a taste test and we'll figure out which ones you like the best. So we did garlic and slap your mom on the first 2. So this is gonna be more spicy. Probably a little too much. This is more for
ginger free.
This is man, ginger free. This is more
are we gonna wrestle again?
Probably. And then that's the buttery herb. These 2 fillets right here are the buttery steakhouse, and the last 3 are the all-purpose. You can kind of see the color, red. These are more neutral.
If somebody's going to do one, you said that's your personal.
That's mild. That fish walleye better, and a lot of people slap your mama. So I know this is a departure. There's a lot of difference between the 2 as far as flavor, but these tend to be the 2 favorites.
I think as important as the Parmesan and how you're doing that,
yep.
All that good stuff.
So we'll plate it up. So we got the butter rice. It's cooked. Put a bed of that down. Like that. Actually, we're gonna do a taste test. So we're gonna kind of split them in half so everybody can get a little piece of whatever they like. So this is a slap your mama. Okay. And then this is going to be the garlic herb. This is typically our favorite. And then we'll come over here, the buttery. Let's go all-purpose here, Ross.
All-purpose.
We'll slide that over here, and then this will be the buttery steakhouse. So I'll let you hit which one you like. Then once you, let's get a little bit of that and tell me which one you like. And then once you figure that out, do a little taste test, then we'll get you some asparagus. Buttery steakhouse.
I mean,
the garlic
I don't
and
think
herb.
you can go wrong. It's just probably which one you like the best.
They're all good. That's going to be the non-ginger zone.
Yeah, it's a ginger-free zone right here.
Yeah.
I mean, I only got a red
It matches
beard.
your beard. You should like it. It should be a shoe-in for you. Mm-hmm. And then the all-purpose.
You know, I may not slap my mama because I get in trouble, but I might slap you.
Which one's your favorite? Which was the, oh, that's a buttery. Yep.
I
Buttery,
mean, but they're all like,
all good, but buttery steakhouses, Ross's.
but you know, again, the importance of this to me.
Most of the women I know, that's the one they go with as well. Trollers and women.
The wrestling match is going to start in approximately 10 seconds.
Yep. I can't wait.
Minus all these insults that I don't know how I dealt with them, but the food is good enough that we're going to put up with it.
Yep.
Just another way of making some walleyes that's a little healthier, but you don't feel like you're eating healthy because it just tastes good.
It's good, and it's seed oil free, non-cooked, non-fried, and very healthy.
It's worth putting up with you.
When you live on Lake Erie and you eat as much fish as we do, you got to find healthy ways to eat it.
Well done.
Very good. Let's get some of that asparagus.